In today's video, we're transforming the Honda Pilot's headlights. Let's go ahead and get started with how I did that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to More Motorsports YouTube channel. My name is James, and today we're going to be redoing the headlights on the Honda Pilot. They're really hazy. We redid these about 2 years ago just using the scuff and buff method. And it just didn't work that great. So we're going to actually wet sand these down, do the 2K clear, but while we're at it, we're going to take the headlights out completely, and all that chrome in there is going to get dissolved, and then we're going to be black truck bed coating all of that to give it a blacked out look. So I do have to remove the brush guard. I have a couple 19mm bolts down there and 17mm bolt on each side, and that whole brush guard will come off. Then we have to remove the bumper, which has a bolt up here. I believe it is a Phillips head bolt or an 8mm. And then down here there's typically a bolt, but since I cut this from when we lifted, there's not a bolt there anymore. There's a couple more bolts, 10mm bolts on the bottom, and then a plastic cover under the hood. So I'm going to go ahead and get the front bumper cover off completely, and then we'll get those headlights out of there. I'll be using SprayMax 2K Clear. I used this in a previous video doing the valve cover. Just basically warm this back up. It's been in the freezer so that way it didn't harden, and it's still good to go. So we want to make sure this is nice and warm. We're going to be using Duplicolor's truck bed coating. Duplicolor makes some awesome products. If you haven't already known that, really good stuff. This truck bed coating is pretty dang good too. So I'll be shooting that and showing you how to do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get this front bumper cover off. So here we go. Okay, so not too hard to get that front bumper off. Now this piece usually stays attached. I just never put the little clips back in the bottom of those. So this will come with the bumper whenever you pull it off, typically. It's pretty simple though. We have a 10mm bolt up here, connectors on the back side for the bulbs and stuff. Then we've got some 10mm over here, 10mm over there, and then this will come off. So I'm going to go ahead and get both of those headlights out, and then we'll go over more. Okay, after you get this headlight off, you look under here, there's a 10mm bolt. You'll need to remove that so that this all can come out. Now that we got that 10mm bolt off, metal bracket's gone, you'll actually just pop this little piece right here off gently and carefully, and then that comes off. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other side as well. Alright, now that I got the headlight off, got all the bulbs removed out of it, we're going to need a heat gun for this part right here. What we're going to be doing is heating up all around the edge, making sure not to get it too hot to where it starts melting, but heat up all around the edge here. The heat gun, we're going to pry this clear lens here off. We'll wet sand and hit this with the 2K clear with this lens off of here, and then we're going to focus on the inside and painting and all of that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up the edges, and I'm going to use this blade here and a flathead. So here we go. got the clear off. We're gonna take this chrome piece, this insert out. There's a couple Phillips head screws in here and this thing will come out. And we're gonna dissolve all that chrome here in a minute. We're gonna keep this in here chrome. That way it projects the most light still, so it's still perfectly visible. Now all this stuff in here is the sealant. We usually throw these in the oven at 250 degrees for about 10 minutes and it just comes right off super easy. But I wanted to show you the method that works with the heat gun. But yeah, this sealant in here, that's where your waterproof seal is. You're gonna want to make sure it's still waterproof seal. You can actually use gasket maker. I've done it plenty of times in the past. That's not necessarily the proper way to do it, but it does work and keeps moisture and water out. But usually we just heat this back up when we press this back in and it seals up fine that way too. But to do this the right way, which we're not doing, we're doing the way that works as well. They actually make a new seal that you can actually put in here. You get all that old crap out first and then you push the new seal in, heat it up and good to go. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove all this chrome out and then we're gonna get started. Okay, for these chrome pieces like this, really cool. You can use some of this Zep industrial purple degreaser. It's actually a tip given to me by a subscriber, Sinformant. Thanks Sinformant for that. If you put it on like a rag or something and you just wipe, it takes the chrome right off with no effort and it doesn't damage the plastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this whole thing down with this industrial strength degreaser, and then we're gonna scuff it up with some 400 grit sandpaper. And after that, we'll lay down some adhesion promoter from Duplicolor. We'll start laying down the black truck bed coating. So we'll go ahead and do that. Well, here it is. Looks pretty good. I decided to keep that chrome since that's where the reflector goes. The rest in here looks awesome. Just took it right off with no problem whatsoever. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this all down with some rubbing alcohol, some isopropyl alcohol, and then scuff it up a little bit. Then lay down the adhesion promoter and the bed coating. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I went ahead, wiped it down. I was gonna tape this off, and as soon as I put tape on it, the chrome was starting to come off with that. So I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and adhesion promote the outside edges, try to miss it the best I can. So we'll go ahead and do it. So the adhesion promoter is basically just a clear primer. It does not take very long to dry, so I'm gonna get the truck bed coating warmed up and shaken up and lay it on. It's warmed up and mixed up well with the Paint Mixer 3000 that I made in a previous video, so we'll go ahead and shoot it. The truck bed coating looks really good. We're gonna let that dry for a couple minutes and then go over it with a dust coat, which will just give it just a little bit more texture. And then we can start focusing on the wet sanding and 2K clear of the headlight. All right, as for the lens, we're gonna go ahead and hit this with some 1000 grit. I'm just basically gonna be using a squirt bottle with some Dawn dish soap in it, getting it nice and wet like that. Using a wet or dry sponge pad. There's a part number right there. You can pause it if you need to. Basically just gonna do that. Make sure to keep it wet and go ahead and wet sand. It's looking pretty good. We're gonna go just a little bit longer, making sure to get every tiny little imperfection we can out of it. If it's not 100% perfect, it'll still be okay. It'll look better than it did, at least on mine. Now, if you want perfection, definitely take your time and go as good as you can. Me, I'm a little bit easier to please. All right, there it is. Pretty hazy, looks really good. One way you'll know if this is ready is if you spray some water on it and it looks really nice and crystal clear underneath. then you're good to go. It's been smoothed out as good as I can get it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other headlight off camera real quick, and once we have both lenses prepped, we'll go ahead and hit some 2K on them, so give me just a second. Okay, got both of them wet sanded, prepped, wiped down, made sure there's no dust or dirt on there, put fresh gloves on as well. Got the Spray Max 2K Clear heated up and mixed. Basically just use a hot water bucket to let them soak for 5 to 10 minutes and shake it up really well and do some test fires. And make sure you're in a well ventilated area, wear a respirator, and you can basically just do it how I do it or adapt your own method, but this is basically how I do it. All right, we're gonna let that dry 5 to 10 minutes while we do the other lens. All right, we're gonna let both of these lenses dry, and then we're gonna hit it with a second coat in about 10 minutes. All right, I'm gonna let both of these dry. After they're dry, we'll go ahead, reheat all the glue up on the headlight housings, and carefully reassemble these things, put them back in the Pilot, and see how it looks. All right, it's all back together. Now I'm gonna reassemble it in the car. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, I got the Pilot back together. Got the brush guard. It's actually way more solid now. The brush guard was kind of wobbly before, but now I tightened up some bolts in there that didn't know were loose. But the headlights look so much better. They almost look like I replaced them, but these are the same headlights. You can see the truck bed coating inside. So much more visibility through them. It's like crystal clear. Now they're not perfect. They look a lot better than they did, especially for being like a refurbished, basically, headlight. If you guys want perfection, you could take a lot of time and you'll get it really good. I'm not saying you can't get it perfect, but if you want perfect brand new headlights, I'll put a link in the description where you can get something that looks pretty much similar to these ones. They sell them on eBay, but this was just a quick, cheap DIY hack that you could do yourself to make them look a lot better. And you can see there's no more haziness. That 2K Clear lasts a long time as well. There'll be a lot of people who say that it won't, but I personally have done this before and it just looks awesome. And they're way more visible. What do you think?
Looks good. I like that the black makes it blend in more with the grill over there.
I really like that contrast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like it was made for it. Like it should have come this way from the factory.
For sure.
Definitely nice. And the light coming out is a lot more focused and cleaned up. Like, you want to hit the headlights? Yeah. I don't know if we can pick it up on camera. Might mess with the contrast of the camera, but we'll see. You can kind of see it. Definitely.
You can tell on the wall that they're cleaner.
Yeah, definitely. You can definitely see. I mean, and this side over here, you've got that oxidation on the inside. That's just from being old. But they look a lot better, and I don't know, my wife's happy with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as she's happy, I'm good. Happy wife, happy life. Everyone will say happy spouse, happy house, but you know, happy wife, happy life. If you guys are curious on the supercharger install, I am going to be doing this on my other channel, the Texas Honda channel. Link will be in the description. I got the belt, I ordered the gasket, I got the tuner that I'm going to be using to tune the Honda Pilot, because nobody else has done this out there, at least with video proof. So I'm pretty much going to be the first one supercharging a Honda Pilot and having a step-by-step on how to do it. It's been a difficult little journey to figure out how we're going to do it, but we've managed to come up with a plan. So I'm just waiting on the parts. Everything should be here within the next week or so, and then we can get started putting this supercharger on here, and this will be the ultimate mom-mobile. And I think she likes the Pilot just a little bit more than I do, or maybe I like it more than she does. Either way, I love this thing, and yeah, this is her vehicle. I've just been taking it over and going off-roading and, you know, all that stuff. We plan to do some off-roading.
Yep.
So that will be coming as well. Got the 2.5-inch lift on it. Got the exhaust redone. Here's a little video clip of how the exhaust sounds. Really nice quality welds and the exhaust itself. If you guys like this video and want to see more like this, definitely check out my playlist and stay tuned because we'll have more stuff coming in the near future. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button and drop a comment below. I'll see you guys in the next one. As I like to say, God bless, stay safe, stay awesome.
Be that, Dave.